My man, Matt Wersel. Matt, when did we meet? No, better question. How did we meet?
The year was 2021. I had just left the PGA show in Orlando. I was there on some golf business. And prior to the show, I had just lost a piece of business to a small company called Microsoft Corporation to a man named T. Dallas Smith. And at that point, I thought, I don't know who T. Dallas Smith is, but I'm going to call this guy and I'm going to figure out why I lost to T. Dallas Smith. And so I pick up the phone and I called you and you answered your cell phone.
Yeah.
And we just got to talking. And I think we ended up talking for 45 minutes, which probably doesn't surprise you. We're laughing and we're having a good time. And I thought, I'm already in Orlando. I might as well swing through Atlanta and come meet you in person because I wanted to understand what had happened. And so I came into Atlanta and came to your office. We sat down together. I was expecting, as you were probably expecting it to be, a half an hour, sit down, how you doing? And we sat in that office for a good probably 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And you gave me a copy of your book, which had a quote in it that I'll never forget. We can talk about that later.
Yeah.
And from that point, started a relationship with an incredible brand, Eastside Golf, led by Olajuwon Ajanaku, great young man.
And
Earl Cooper, excuse me. And at that point, we were having so much fun that you decided to get us out in the car and drove me around town, drove me around a couple of golf courses that you thought might work for Eastside in the future.
Yeah.
And on top of that, took me through your childhood neighborhood, showed me the house where you grew up in, showed me some specific routes through the area. And we just got to be friends pretty quick on the spot.
Yeah. And it's so the thing that, and then you shared your story with me. Sobriety, the stuff you've been through. I mean, this is like meeting number one. So you like full, kimono open kind of guy, which is a level of authenticity that you don't see from a lot of people. So I really connected with that because the whole thing at TDS&Co Company about you come here, it's about being your authentic self and being who you are. And that's the thing I love about you. Consistently, you have been who you are. And that's why we're excited today to let everybody know that you are now with TDS&Co Company. And I couldn't be happier. And I feel like we're both at a place. I've been in the game now 43 years, 20 and some change for you, but we've been around long enough to know what the typical brokerage firms are.
Right.
And oftentimes a lot of shops, let's just say it that way, a lot of the shops, it's not the competition across the street that you have to worry about. It's the person sitting next to you got to worry about, or the office next to you, the desk next to you. And I think somewhere deep in my soul, I said if I ever started a firm, I wasn't going to have that kind of toxic environment around brokerage. That ultimately we're all carrying the same card. So the client thinks if they get your car, my car, we got the same car. We work for the same firm, obviously working together on their behalf. But so many times that is not the case.
No.
And so, but here we are, 18 years later at TDS&Co Company since starting that. And to be able to have you come on board is a monumental thing. And just talk about your role, as I don't have your card in front of me, and it's got a long title. What exactly is the title?
VP of Strategic Partnerships.
Talk about what that is.
It means I really care about relationships.
Yeah.
And the thing about this industry that I've learned over the course of 20 some odd years now, 22, I believe, is that relationships are the key to long-term success.
No doubt.
Not only in this business, but in life in general.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something about me that I take to heart, and that's authenticity. I believe it's the greatest attribute that a person can have and maintain.
That's right.
And it's not been an easy road for me to get to this point. You know, I will be sober for 6 years coming up here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, bro.
It has led me to a much more meaningful life. It's taken me to a place now where I have a family. I've got a wonderful wife, Christina, whom I don't deserve. You know, a beautiful new son, Maverick, who's 2 months old, and a great little dog, Pretzel, the pup cup, who is also the joy of our lives.
Yeah.
And none of that really happens without, you know, facing the person in the mirror and coming to grips with who you are, accepting yourself. And I had to do that. It was not easy.
Yeah.
And the same has happened with business.
Yeah.
There have been many trials, many tribulations, many bumpy paths. I'm not telling you anything that you haven't experienced personally.
You read the book.
I did, but in wanting to change real estate with you, I do believe that God has led us to this point together on this path, and that as a faith-based company and a faith-based person, I mean, to God be the glory. That's the reason I'm still standing on this earth.
Yeah.
Everything had to happen prior to this in order to get us to this point. So
the one thing that we've had from day one, and we're going to make sure that people know more about it, is that at the end of the day, we know that we have to be faithful with a little. We're going to be faithful with much. And more is coming our way. And I'm grateful for that. How did I autograph that book that I gave you?
You said, let's change commercial real estate together. Now, this is the first time I met you.
Yeah.
But immediately that hit me in my soul.
Yeah.
Because as a locker room guy my whole life, somebody who believes in teams, somebody who believes in the people around me, who doesn't consider themselves to be the key person and point in every situation. I truly found that in the room. I found it to be client first, team first, faith first, family first. And that is an anomaly in the world that we're in. And so I knew after I had seen that there was a possibility for us to change commercial real estate together. You know, but let me ask you a question if you don't mind.
Yes.
What did that mean to you to write that? How did you want to change commercial real estate?
So for 43 years, I've been in this business, and I've had conversations with a few people who don't look like me about doing the very same thing. And ultimately, I knew somebody would say, yeah, I see it, and let's go. And oftentimes the ones who I thought would say, let's see it and let's go, they saw it, but they couldn't go. And the other thing, a lot of people have come to us about, we want to help you work on some deals, that kind of thing. And my thing was always turning to the other side. You're a humongous company with thousands of clients, and you're coming to me about helping you bring a deal together. Bring us one of the clients that you're working with now who's been asking, where's all the diversity? Somebody's asking you that. Let's work on that together. Let's test our relationship, see how we work along together. And if it works, we can go after some more stuff together. You did that day one with Eastside Golf and with some others that we're in the middle of right now. So it's like you didn't come asking for something. And you came with an attitude of humility and grace. And I think you saw the same thing I saw. I know with you, you saw me. And I hope people understand what that means. And I think you see that from day one, I saw you. And I understand this industry. I know the parties, how they're made up, and you're very different than all of them. You might look like them, but you're very different than them. So I know you dealt with a lot of stuff. But I know together, in terms of again, you're really about relationships. And you're real about them. And it's not transactional for you. It's about relationships with you. And that's the same thing with us. I was early on in my career very transactional because I didn't know any better. And then God really explained to me what this thing was really about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we've been about for the last 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to be about. Focus on transactions from the standpoint of the relationship, helping that person come good or bad. Our whole thing is to make sure that we provide the client with the best service, that we keep the client first. And keeping that client first might be that you don't need to do this transaction
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Mm-hmm.
You're not ready. Let's take some time. Maybe somebody else can help you.
Mm-hmm.
But giving the client that kind of advice to help them save money, save time.
I'm just curious, is there a story of a particular relationship that might mean something to you that you could talk about?
Just recently, I think within the past 2 weeks, my mother, both my mom and dad are deceased. But my mom used to always say, if somebody crossed your mind, you pick up the phone and call them or reach out to them. So I've been doing that for a very long time. And around New Year's Day, I thought about Orrin Odom. Orrin Odom used to be a transaction person with AT&T. In fact, he was the first transaction person that we worked with on a substantial deal with him. And so New Year's Day, I sent a text to him, Happy New Year's, hope you're doing well, just thinking about you, that thing. He responded back, things are going good, sent me a picture of him and his family. He looked great. He's like 78 years old, but on this picture, he looked like he may have been 55. Looked good. So I respond back, man, you look great. Family looks beautiful. Where's the fountain of youth? It's like, you got to tell me where it is. But then there's no response back. And we have been kind of texting through the day. Thought that was kind of weird. Then later the next day, I realized I had like sort of a missed call from him. So I made the call back to him. But a woman answers the phone. And Dallas Smith, hey, this is Marilyn, I'm Orrin's wife. And Orrin passed. I was like, I was just talking to him.
The next day?
I don't know if it was the next day, but somewhere within that time frame, within probably 48 hours, it passed. Just shocked. Now, the crazy thing is Orrin had retired from AT&T some years ago, maybe 6-7 years ago. But our whole thing has always been, you don't still have to be at the company for us to continue to have a relationship with you, right? We had a relationship with him, not with his title.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's a very important thing. We had the same thing with Wiley at AT&T, not AT&T, at FedEx, that we found out had since passed. But we had, make sure we reach out to them and make sure they were okay. Because again, if I'm only building a relationship with you because of what I think you can do for me, because of your title, I wouldn't want to work with me. If you're only calling me because now you're the CEO of this or the head of real estate because of that. No. Some people you just like and you want to connect with anyway. Mm-hmm. And so that's always been very big for us. I always make sure my mother's words still, just echo. Somebody cross your mind, reach out to them and talk to them, man. Mm-hmm. So I think but you have that same sense, which I think is also very important that people understand. TDS&Co Company, although we have been not a white firm from the exterior, you look at it and say, these are all black folks. This is the black company. It's never been just a black company. Our company has been about bringing people with the same culture. And culture is not color. Culture is about how you feel, how you think, the things that you do. And what I realized with you do exact same things. You're hard about the relationships, hard about making sure that you stay in contact with people, whether or not they're still at the firm or not at the firm. Mm-hmm. That's a cultural thing. That ain't a color thing. Mm-hmm. And so for me, for TDS&Co Company, the owners here, that's what's important to us. Mm-hmm. That we connect with people here, not on a business card. Mm-hmm. And I think that makes all the difference in the world. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that's unique about you, our industry is full of tigers. Mm. What I mean by that is tigers hunt alone. Mm-hmm. Lions don't. And if you're going to bring down big game, you're going to bring the elephant down, one tiger, one lion can't do that. And so and then having played sports,
Mm.
You know, as a pitcher, being able to throw a 95 mile hour fastball, which I don't even know how that's even possible. But anyway, you get the whole team thing. And I look up in our office, majority of people in our office play D1 ball in some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And I played Little League pop water ball, football. But, you know, Corey, I asked Corey this question one day, man, how is it all these athletes are here?
Mm-hmm.
And Corey, I think, gave me the best answer. He said, he played for Alabama, a defensive back. He said, Dallas, one thing about a good athlete, they want a good coach.
True.
And they don't mind being cussed out.
Mm-mm.
And I don't mind doing both. So
works out well.
So, and it's, you know, it's never personal, like, man, what, you know, but it's about, if I'm fussing about anything, it's about making sure that we take care of the client at the end of the day.
I think it's important for you to know, from my perspective too, that TDS&Co, which is a Black-owned company and has been historically and predominantly Black folks working at the company. Yeah, I've never seen it that way. Yeah, I just don't. I think we connect at a much deeper level, as do I with the other folks that work at the company as well. Yeah, right. To me, it's about what's in your chest. Yeah, what's here and in your soul. Yeah, and I feel like people at the company, whether younger or older, come from the right place. Yeah, they understand taking care of each other. Yeah. They understand doing the right thing versus the wrong thing. No doubt. And that doesn't play into color at all. That plays into the person. Yeah, that's a fact. I'm excited about the future, man. Let's get ready to change this thing. Let's do this. And impact the commercial real estate industry. I have no doubt we won't. Welcome to the Pride, baby. Happy to be here.